We live in an abundant universe. There is abundance all around us, and this abundance that we're surrounded by, you are a part of it, and it is a part of you. We want to open ourselves up and receive the good that is our birthright in all aspects of our life, in our health, in our finances, relationships, and even creative expression. Albert Einstein said, everything is energy. The law of vibration decrees that everything moves, that nothing stands still. Everything has its own vibrational frequency. Your furniture, your car, the trees around you, everything, even our thoughts and our feelings, it's all governed by the law of vibration. The chair you're sitting on may look solid and still, but at its core, it is pure energy and movement. So now that we've established that everything is energy, what does this mean to us, and how does it affect our health, our finances, our relationships, and our creative expression? For the purpose of this video, we will use money as our example. When you need more money in your life, how does this lack make you feel? Does it make you feel fearful or powerless, or even insecure? Probably you answered yes to all of these. The problem here is that these are very strong negative emotional thoughts and feelings. Now keep in mind we said everything is energy, including our thoughts and feelings. So what's happening here is that these strong feelings and thoughts are sending vibrations into the universe, and by the very nature of the universal law of attraction that says like attracts like, you continue the downward spiral of lack, because as these negative vibrations go out from you, you are attracting more of the same, more negative thoughts to you. So you continue on your downward spiral. We know in quantum physics that what we put our attention on becomes solid. So we're literally attracting more of the lack we don't want, because that is where our attention is. That is what we're focused on. Something very important to note here is that if energy flows where attention goes, what that means is you will always create your dominant thoughts and feelings. This is how the universe works. Every time. It's physics. But believe it or not, this is really good news, because if we can control our thoughts and our feelings, then we can control what shows up in our life. So how do we do this? We've become very, very good at creating more of what we don't want, because we've had years of experience and practice, and it's now become a habit. But what we do know is this: if we keep on doing what we've always been doing, we'll keep on having the same things show up in our life. It's like taking a walk down a familiar path, thinking we'll end up somewhere different. So we need to take a different path. So how do we deliberately create more money, since that's the example we're using? How do we deliberately connect to the law of abundance? What we do know is this: we can't solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. What that means is it was negative vibrations that caused the lack of money and attracted more lack of money to you. So we have to make the switch so that our dominant thoughts and feelings are of a positive vibrational frequency. So what would that new thinking look like? What would it feel like? I'm not talking about positive thinking here. I'm talking about possibility thinking. So let's imagine your financial situation at the moment is such that you can barely cover your monthly expenses and you have some debts. If I asked you, could you believe for $1 million to show up in your life in the next 30 days, what would you say? I'm not talking about winning a lottery or anything. I'm talking about deliberately creating $1 million. What would you say? Probably, are you nuts? No way. So, okay then. What about this idea? Could you believe for $250,000 that you could attract $250,000 to you? For some of you, the answer is still no way, and for others, it's a maybe. You see, it all depends on your current level of thinking. What about this then? Could you believe to have all your expenses covered and be able to pay your debt and have money left over? Whatever that means to each of you. Is there any possibility the answer could be yes, or even a maybe? Even if you're saying maybe, that's good enough to work with. Let me explain what I'm doing here. I'm pushing you outside your comfort zone to expand your thinking, but not so far out that it feels impossible, that your mind will throw up a barrier and say, whoa, wait a minute, this is too much. The trick is to expand your thinking just far enough that it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, you're stretched, but not too far that it feels impossible. You have to be able to accept the change with your conscious mind, your thinking mind, the possibility, no matter how slight, that it is attainable, so that your conscious mind isn't fighting you. You don't have to start off believing for millions of dollars. That can come later. It might be difficult for your mind to take the leap from not being able to pay your bills to thinking of yourself as a multimillionaire. Now, what Noel and I have found in our experience working with hundreds of people is that people try to move too far too fast and then get discouraged and say this doesn't work. It does work. It's a law and it works every time. So here's what I want you to do. First, decide on the next income level that you could possibly believe for that would pay all of your expenses comfortably with some left over. Work out this figure on a monthly basis and write it down in large numbers and put it on your fridge or your computer or the bathroom mirror, just somewhere that you can see it as much as possible during the day. Then the next thing is, when you think about your new money goals, how does it make you feel? Do you feel excited? Does it make you feel hopeful? Do you feel more secure? Very different feelings, aren't they, than the feelings connected with lack. Your thoughts and emotions are positive rather than negative. Your vibration is positive energy, not negative. And remember what we said, like attracts like. You're attracting more positive thoughts, more positive energy to you. You're on an upward spiral instead of a downward spiral. You've literally turned 180 degrees and you're walking down a different path. You're walking down a path of abundance. So a third exercise for you is to get quiet and imagine your new income, your new situation. Try and get as clear a picture in your mind as you can, as much detail as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect, just do your best. Now I want you to answer a couple of questions for me. What do you see? What do the changes in your lifestyle look like? And how does this all make you feel? Try to generate as much feeling as you can. This is very powerful. This is what is moving you up the vibrational ladder, emotionalizing your picture. This is what I call putting on your new circumstances, feeling the reality of it. Do this as often as you can. The more you enter into the creation process, the easier it will become and the quicker your circumstances will change. And you can repeat this process over and over and over again. So just before we finish our video, I just want to briefly recap what we have said today. Number one, the solution to any problem is always on a higher vibration than the problem. Number two, make a conscious decision to take a different path. Number three, set a money goal just far enough out of your reach that you can't get there by yourself. You need help from the universe. Number 4, write down your money goal and put it where you can see it, your fridge, your computer, whatever. Number 5, imagine yourself as having attained the goal. Remember, put on your new circumstances, just like you would put on a coat. So congratulations, you have now connected yourself to the law of abundance. And remember, you can repeat this process over and over again to continue creating the life you deserve.